go. Here we go. Hey. Pool B, Dave. Welcome to Pool B. If you didn't see Pool A, it was awesome. Came down to the hot saw again. If you're new, this is Timber Sports, baby. This is the semifinals. Top 8 athletes in Pool B coming out momentarily. 3 chopping events, 3 sawing events. My name's Dave Jewett, Super Dave Jewett when I was competing. Still carry that name. Dave, you're joining me. I'm so psyched you're here in Milwaukee. Dave Johns.
My first time in Milwaukee this year, and I got to tell you, I've heard the rumors, I've heard the whispers, but I finally have confirmed it. This place is awesome. German Fest, baby! I'm glad the Steins are full, the people are happy, and I'm telling you what, we've got a heck of a show for you on the stage right now. Dave, we're taking our top 4 athletes here into the finals. Let's bring them out on the stage.
Absolutely. They're back there. They're bouncing up and down, ready to go from Sheboygan, Michigan, Dakota Robarge. And this is his first year in STIHL Timbersports. Big round of applause.
Coming up next out of Walpole, New Hampshire, let's give it up for Trevor Beaudry.
And from Bedford, Pennsylvania, Zach Brous.
Possibly one of the strongest men in the sport from Springville, New York. Let's hear it up for Big Mark Boquin.
Hailing from Golden Valley, Minnesota, Ben Whalen.
Hailing from Marysville, Ohio, let's give it up for Grant Foreman.
Your 7-time national champion from Grafton, West Virginia, Matt Koger.
And your current world record holder in the Springboard chop, let's hear it from Toll House, California, Walt Page. And our judges, Rich Hallett, Chris Alba, and Jonathan Russell. All right, let's hear it for our athletes.
Springboard. Springboard simulates the traditional way of felling trees, climbing up over thick roots. First, notches known as pockets are chopped into the log. 2 springboards are then anchored into these pockets. The athlete then climbs up to chop through a 27-centimeter thick block of wood in the fastest time possible.
One of the most exciting events in all of timber sports. What do we got to do in this event?
A lot of steps, Dave, and the best athletes are the athletes that look at it that way. Step 1, step 2, 3, 4, 5. Step 1, cutting a pocket using these $650 axes to cut a pocket into the tree about 3.5 feet off the ground. They insert a board, ascend to that board, stand on that. Guess what? They got to cut another pocket about 6 feet off the ground, throw in that second board, jump up on that second board, get to the back of it using all their power, bringing the axe with them to sever the 11-inch block up top. Difficult. Yes, especially having to go to the backside, use their back awkward hand, like trying to hit a baseball, backhanded, severing the block off to get a good time at big steel points on the line here. Top 4 moving into the finals tomorrow.
All right, in heat 1, on pole 1, let's hear it for Dakota Robarge. And on position 2, Trevor Beaudry.
All right, here we go with Pool B competition here. Trying to find 4 from our 8 hopefuls here. Trying to make it into the finals. Top 4 in points. Total points when our 6 disciplines are done. We'll advance to the finals. This is the first heat of the first discipline, Springboard chop. That is Dakota Robarge for Sheboygan, Michigan. Lumberjack show performer going up against school teacher from Walpole, New Hampshire, Trevor Beaudry.
Tommy, I feel old. I feel very old right now.
Why is that?
Well, I'll tell you why. I used to compete against a Robarge, but that was Wally Robarge. That was the father of Dakota Robarge. Yes. You know what Dakota Robarge was doing? He was playing in mud puddles, catching frogs with all his brothers, and then getting hosed off at the end of the day and thrown in the van and back home again. So this is just awesome to see him on this stage.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Dakota, a native New Yorker, now in Michigan, putting on lumberjack shows. A quick first board hole. He had to give it a little bit of a finger sweep, get the junk mail out of the back of the mailbox there. Great level board set, though. A 4-hit second pocket. Trevor Beaudry working on getting caught up. Oh, that first board failing on Dakota Robarge, but at just the best time once he's off of it. Dakota's putting in a great looking front face. I can't see it from my perspective here in the stands, but I can see it on the jumbotron. Great looking wide open front face on this block. Trevor Beaudry is now working on reeling it in. Dakota into the backside, switch-handed cutter, chopping very cleanly. We're at about the 46-second mark for Dakota Robarge. Ooh. Big fist in the air. Trevor Beaudry now going into slash hits on the backside of the log, but he has a lot of timber on the far side away from him that is tough to reach with slash cutting. Hung the heel of the axe up in the block, managed to stay under control. What an awesome start for Dakota Robarge.
And the accuracy, confidence, making those pockets, not fazed by the crowd, by the bright lights of the big stage in Milwaukee. And that's just a statement by Robarge that he's here to stay. All right, we'll get the official word from Rich Allen. Completion of that.
Both cuts are good. Cody Robarge absolutely crushing the springboard chop.
Hey, Cody, I love it. You know, you told me earlier this season you're going to go after this. You've got the confidence. You've got the swagger. Love that you backed up the words, buddy. 46 seconds. How does it feel being in STIHL Timbersports in Milwaukee?
Oh, it feels great being here. I got a lot of support out there.
Oh, we can hear them.
It actually wasn't my greatest cut, Dave.
Why was it not your greatest cut?
Well, I had a chip stick in the bottom of my 4-hit pocket, and I had to kind of get it out of there with my hand, so it could have been better. My axe was sticking in the log.
Great cut, though. 46 seconds. Tell you what.
My best cut so far, so that's good. A personal best.
Awesome. Personal best for Cody Robarge. 2 more chopping events to go. We'll watch the replay if you want. Big round of applause. What a debut.
Let's go back and take a look at that first pocket. I mentioned he had some junk mail in the back of the mailbox. 4-hit pocket. Great focus, great determination, pounding the hits in that first. Had to go ahead and sweep that out. Didn't want to come out. He literally had to just pick it out. It's a heads-up move, though. One little chip on top of that springboard shoe doesn't allow that razor-sharp edge to grab the top side of that pocket, and it will spit that board out. There still was some kind of trouble in there because once he leaves this first board, it ejects itself. I guess he just had such a jump on that first board. It got a little hop to it, and it worked its way back out of the pocket. Look at the front side of this log. He opens up nice and big, gets way deep in the back side of the log. Strong switch-handed cutter. Great back finish for Dakota Robarge.
Yeah, Dakota Robarge, the lumberjack show performer. Living in northern Michigan, roots in New York. Great time. Personal best for him, 46.60. Trevor Beaudry's time, 1:08.88. Heat 1 of the springboard. It's in the books.
Inches, but again, if the blade is too small, it'll hit that yellow poplar, especially when you hit a flat hit to clear the chip out. It'll break the metal off the axe. Matt Coger did it earlier this year. So right, Dave, Axe selection, you want a thick edge, but just thin enough to cut the white pine upstairs.
Absolutely. All right, I'm out in the crowd right now. I've got some amazing German Fest flags right here, but you got to make some noise if you want one of these. You can't just tap me on the shoulder. Oh, man, I don't know if I have enough flags for that kind of noise, but all right, the loudest ones get them. Loudest ones get them. All right, heat 2 with a springboard chop coming up on the stage next. On pole number 1, let's hear it for Zach Brous. On position 2.
Here we go. Heat 2 of the springboard. Zach Brous from Pennsylvania. Two big guys here. Zach Brous going up against Mark Beauquin. Mark Beauquin from Western New York. Two good performers, strong choppers and sawyers. We take on this very challenging event to start the day off here for Pool B. The springboard chop.
These are two of the most powerful axemen in this pool. Heavy hitters, big hitters, massive individuals. Like
man.
You stand next to these guys at the morning meeting and you just feel dwarfed. However, that doesn't always play to the springboard event.
No.
This is an event, you look at Dakota Robarge, much like his dad was as a competitor and still is, very wiry, spry, gets up on that board quick. These guys are going to have to set really solid board sets.
Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Dakota Robarge in that first heat slapped in 4-hit pockets. Oh man, Beauquin does a 4-hit pocket. He's up on it. He got there. It's doing it. It's holding. Zach Brous a little more ginger to that first board. He's listing just a little bit, and that board is starting to sag a bit. That really plays in your mind as you're trying to get that second board set. Both these guys going deeper, more hits on that second pocket. They want a little bit better board set. They're going to spend more time on that second board. You got to do a bigger job on that second board. You want to make sure that thing is set well. Zach Brous passing Beauquin here in this second pocket. Beauquin with trouble. Zach Brous, difficulty though. He is set, but he is sagging. Puts you in a terrible position. It's what we call toe in the hole. He's got his front foot all the way up at the clip, all the way up at the shoe of that springboard, almost sticking his toe in the pocket. That means you're choked up. You can't reach out and extend your arms and engage your core to swing that axe. They're just little sort of peck hits that he's making. Look at Mark Beauquin, though. He's almost stepping off the back of the board. He's way back out there on that board, putting in massive, powerful hits. He's going to reel in Brous, but it'll be too little, too late. Brous, even with these short hits, ought to be able to drive that block off.
One more and he has it. There we go.
Okay, both cuts are good.
We'll get a quick word with Zach Browse here. Zach, you got up on that bottom board, that top pocket came to a V. Tell us what's going through your mind. Did you know that was going to be a compromised pocket when you inserted the board?
Yeah, as soon as I inserted it, I probably should have pulled it back out and taken one more hit on the top to clear it out. It just wasn't deep enough and didn't set right and had a little bit of a saggy board, but it's poplar, so I knew it was going to hold, but it could have been a lot better.
I was going to wait for later. I need the crowd to help us. On 3, we're going to say happy birthday, Zach. 1, 2, 3.
So not the smoothest operation as far as springboard heats go, and trouble started right out of the gate. Well, not right out of the gate. Shortly after leaving the gate for Mark Boquin here on the stand number 2, the near side. You can see Zach Browse is up on that second board set already, but as soon as he puts weight back on it, it starts to sag. Boquin goes to set that board. As soon as he leans on it, you see that chip eject out of it. That's what we were talking about earlier. Yep. All it takes is one chip of wood on top of that springboard shoe, and that just won't let the sharp edge of that shoe engage with the top side of that pocket, and it spits that board out. Now you see Mark Boquin in the background. He had a good pocket going, and then one hit got away from him, and he had to just start working that thing around the tree, running out of timber, working his way deeper and deeper into that tree. Once he got it, it was a good holding second board, but just took an awful lot of work to get there. Zach Browse again, there you see him in the near ground, and he's just got his toe in the hole. That is not a good board set. It's one of those debatable things. Like, you go back and reset, or you just suffer through.
Zach Browse, Zach Browse having to kind of do it in a phone booth here. He's got no choice but to do that. Small hits, like you're saying, short strokes here, but got the job done. So there we go, Zach Browse prevails in the end there. Not the greatest time probably ever for the arborist from Pennsylvania, but a time of 1:29.07 has him in third place. Mark Boquin's time, 1:51.56. He will post a time. Dakota Robarge, 46.60. Still the best time. Excellent time. Dakota Robarge. His second appearance in that championship weekend, U.S. Championship weekend with the STIHL Timbersports 2024.
You were putting 6 on the top to always feel comfortable. Did you ever have a chance where you were saying, I'm going with 4, I got to race these guys? Or was it comfortability for you?
Actually, not till a few years ago when I took my announcing job. I still compete at tournaments. So I'm like, hey, I don't have anything to lose. Let's start going 4 and 4. And I was racing against Matt Koger in Pennsylvania, and I did it. I was up 4 and 4, and I said, okay, but it's the believability. The believability is the strongest tool you have. It's better than your best axe or your best saw. It's knowing, and it's swagger. You got to get out there. Cassidy Shear carries it very well. Little cockiness, little swagger. You go up. Believability. If you question yourself, it's not going to work. You're going to have a short career in this sport. But a forward pocket, you got to hit them hard and confident. As soon as you back off, the axe it's not as good of a delivery, but you have to hit them very hard. A hard hit is an accurate hit.
Well, and I saw in that last one, we saw Zach Browse slabbing out of that top pocket. You see one of our poles right now out here on the stage does not have tape around it, and that could spell trouble because this tulip poplar is fairly chippy. Have you competed much on tulip poplar, and have you experienced that yourself, Dave?
What I try to do when I peel the bark off the log, I try to leave the bark right, like within a ½ inch underneath the pocket. The bark will hold, but if you hit it real hard, I mean, I'm not a big guy, I'm around 210. But yeah, once they allow tape, you can throw that tape on, but so many of these athletes, they're just confident, they know their pockets, they know the axe, they know how that board's gonna fit in, and they just don't need the tape. They decide the log will secure itself.
All right, heat 3 coming up next on pole 1. Let's hear it for Ben Whalen. On position 2, Grant Foreman.
Heat number 3, time to beat Dakota Robarch, 46.60. Going to be Ben Whalen. Pole number 1, pole number 2, Grant Foreman. Grant Foreman, the engineer from Ohio. Ben Whalen, the arborist from Minnesota.
Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Ben Whalen on the left side. Watch this guy climb. One of the most entertaining springboard cutters. So smooth, so fluid, so dynamic as he works his way up this tree. Grant Foreman, an engineer by trade, and that's how he approaches all these disciplines, as a problem that he needs to solve. And he really is a student of the sport. Look at Whalen up already at the 23-second mark as he wades into the front side of the block. That axe hanging up a little bit. Grant Foreman, though, on his heels now. He's looking to gain time on Whalen. Great looking front side to that cut from Whalen, getting a little steppy, a little choppy, but he's staying wide open. He's going to try, he pops a couple hits in the far side. Those are so critical on the far side of this log. Switch hitting chopper, great looking cut. Ben Whalen, 52.74. Grant Foreman's a slash-handed cutter. He's turned to the backside now, driving down through the wood. Needs to kind of release a chip. Sometimes as a slash-handed cutter, you got to step that hit down, clear a chip out, open yourself up some fresh air to swing into.
What a great pass by Ben Whalen, a little flat with his thumb hits.
Both cuts are good.
Ben, awesome. I love it when you ascend those boards. You get on that top board, right to the back of it. You hit like a big man standing on the ground. I love just absolute fearlessness. Talk about that cut.
Well, I mean, I spend most of my life like 30, 40 feet in the air, so being 6 feet off the ground's nothing. I love this event. It's a lot of fun. I'm glad I'm out here at German Fest again, getting to do it right. That's a good cut. That's my personal best right there, so I'll take it.
Absolutely. What a great cut. Dave behind me is making fun of your rubber duck earring. I wasn't going to ask you, but why don't we answer that question early?
This thing's keeping me afloat today, so I can have a little fun out there for you guys.
I love it. Great job. We're going to see him 5 more events to go. Great cut in the Springboard. Ben Whalen. Let's take a look at it.
Well, here's a good look at Ben Whalen's cut as he goes to work with that 4-hit pocket. Little flick at the end, clears that chip out. Quick board set, up on it, both feet just jumping, leaping onto that first board. Back to work instantly. Look at the determination in his face as he goes, pounds the hits into that second pocket. Almost stutters a little bit there as he's going for that board. Maybe that can come a little bit closer to him and get the setup. It settles in beautiful, gets his foot all the way to the backstop on that board, and he just draws huge chips. Not the best looking timber up there, but these guys are just drawing massive chips out. Watch him reach the far side here. One more. There it is in the near side. There's the wood he takes out of the far side. He's got that completely chewed out in the back. One more for the insurance policy. Great switch-handed cutter. The accuracy's a little rowdy on the front, but great job getting way to the back of that block. Drives through from the backside.
And Ben Whalen, the armor, spends a lot of time way higher than that. He says got his personal best here, 52.51, lands him in second place. Second place to Dakota Robarge in his time of 46.60. He's still setting the pace, the one to shoot for there. Grant Foreman going to be in fourth place as it stands right now. His final time, official time, 1 minute 12.46.
And then there's the last time. And then there's the last time.
Yes, that's right.
I tell you what, good on Dakota Robarge. If you're sitting at the top of the heap in the Springboard on the STIHL Timbersports stage with 2 competitors left to go, you're in great shape. That's an awesome way to start the day here.
Keep it going. I want to get rowdy here tonight. Let's get rowdy. You can take that one, yeah? That's a smile. That makes love.
Final heat of the Springboard. Bring them out, Matt Koger and Walt Page.
Okay, final heat here. Again, Dakota Robarge on top with 46.60, but these guys are going to mount an assault on that. Look at those two right there. They're notoriously great springboard cutters. Matt Koger will be on pole number 1. Walt Page on pole number 2. Walt Page and a personal best time of 35.43. Seven-time U.S. champ Matt Koger. Was not able to get the championship last year. He'd like to come back and snatch that one away. 2024, but he's got a long way to go. Let's see how he gets started.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
This is going to be a fun one, folks. Our 7-time U.S. STIHL Timbersports champion, our world. Oh, there's not a world record move though from Walt Page on stand number 2. Has to double clutch his first pocket. Wasn't happy with his board set. Had to pull back out, go back in again. Matt Koger says, "I'm not waiting around. Congratulations, I'm moving on." And he is into the block about the 22-second mark. He's going to have to put up a blistering chop up top. Look at Walt Page though, trying to reel him back in. Massive slabs of wood falling out of the front side of the block for Walt Page. Very deep front face for Walt Page. Tons of work done in the front of that log. Matt Koger around the back, looking as a switch-hitter chopper. Walt Page comes back and takes down Matt Koger. What a race. I tell you what, too, you look at the unofficial times, and you look at Dakota Robarge's time. Yeah. He's top 2, 3. We'll see how these go.
Yeah, it's got to wait on the officials, but man, that's a bit of a surprise.
Let's wait on the judges' final call.
Nice job, gentlemen. Both cuts are good.
We're going to get a quick interview with our world record holder, Walt Page. Walt, you're about a hit and a half behind. You reeled in Matt Coger in the backside. How much awareness do you have of the athlete over your shoulder? You just got to blank that out, right?
Yeah, none at all, Dave. No, it's a whole other world over there.
You've been a busy guy. You're a timber sports athlete. You're full-time forester, fifth-generation rancher. How do you fit it all in to come to Milwaukee, buddy?
We have busy weekends, Dave.
Great job, Walt. We're going to see you unofficially. We're going to wait. It's going to be close between you and Cody Robards. Nevertheless, can't wait to see you again. I got a feeling we're going to see this guy again in the finals. Big round of applause, Walt Page.
Well, it's been a lot of fun watching Walt Page join us out of the college ranks into the professional ranks, excel in the professional ranks, and a lot of it is just his calm demeanor. You hear that in interviews on the stage. You hear that talking to him before the event, back in the tent, and he just approaches this with just a level-headed, rational, calm disposition. Things were derailing early for Walt Page in this springboard chop, but stayed the course. He reeled in our 7-time U.S. champion and is potentially going to come out with a win here in the springboard.
Well short of his world record there, but Walt Page, good time of 46.40, and that is going to be good enough. Now that it's official, he's going to bide 0.2 of a second. Overtake Dakota Robards there for the top spot, top points in the springboard. Matt Coger, our 7-time world champion, third place there with a 49.09 in the springboard. And as they take down the springboards, we get ready for some sawing upcoming here. Let's take a look at our overall standings, our points race, of course, at this point with one discipline on the books. That's going to be the exact mirror image of our finishes in the springboard chop. Page, Robards, Coger, Whelan. I said Whelan. I was not going to say that. It's Whalen. Ladies and gentlemen, I've been corrected about that already today, so apologies, and I swear that's going to be the last time. Ben Whalen in fourth place. The fourth spot, of course, is essential. You have to be in the top 4 at the end of it all.
The pursuit of the perfect cut continues with our full line of STIHL mowers. From gas or battery to zero turns and push mowers, join the pursuit and find your perfect cut. 0% financing available for qualified buyers. Real STIHL. Find yours.
Let's roll, let's go.
When we work in harmony, anything is possible.
Your local Ace is the largest national retailer of STIHL power tools. Gas or battery, you won't find this full lineup at a warehouse store. You can find it at Ace.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
Duluth Trading Company was born from generations who showed us that the only way to live life is to live it hands-on.
To do it the hard way. To take the trail untrodden. To take the damn thing apart, put it back together, and have the world be better for it.
We don't think that the go all in, dig deep, and get your hands dirty spirit exists in everybody.
We know it does. Duluth Trading. Take on life with your own 2 hands.
Welcome back to Milwaukee. Look at that shot. The American Family Field. Home of the Milwaukee Brewers. Strong again this year. Man, oh man. It's great work out of the Brewers. We kick it back to our live coverage here. Stock saw time in this Pool B action. Semifinals here. The STIHL TimberSports U.S. Men's Championship.
Stock saw. After the starting shot, the contestants have to cut 2 wooden discs, so-called cookies, within a 10-centimeter mark, one downward and one upward. The attempt is only valid when both discs have been cut off completely and within the marks.
First heat of the stock saw, Dakota Robards versus Grant Foreman.
Getting ready to go with our first heat of the stock saw. Dakota Robards on the left. Dakota doing very well today. He's in second place in our points race. Looking to make that top 4. Go on for his first appearance in the finals. Championship. U.S. Men's Championship of the STIHL Timbersports Series. Grant Foreman. A little bit maybe subpar for him performance in the springboard chop. Looking to gain some back here in the stock saw.
Warm up your saws.
Engineer from Ohio taught himself to do all these different disciplines by watching mainly YouTube videos.
Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Both competitors very quick to the block. Dakota Robards is motoring through this wood, though. Oh my gosh, just an insane pace on that saw. 11 and a half seconds is his unofficial time. One of the things I always look for on these saws, and again, this is assuming a clean cut. Oh no. Trouble. Oh.
Robards, I believe, is safe. And look at the time of Robards. Low 11s.
Wait for the official ruling of the judge here, and then we'll go into some of the pros and cons of what all just went down.
Okay, your cut was good. DQ cut line.
Devastating.
Well, it didn't take long, Dave. Got a word.
They're out in effect already for Hallett.
Are we good? Robards, riding that wave, buddy. Low 11s. I believe you may be faster than all the times in Pool A. We're going to get an official time here in a second. Talk about step-by-step what goes through your mind. Hands on top of the wood, revisiting all your practice.
Yeah, I'm just trying to do the same routine as I was at home, you know. I'm glad for that event to be over. It's not my favorite, and a lot can go wrong, so.
And you have to make a quick adjustment with those STIHL MS661s. It's white pine, but it's different than the white pine. This white pine's coming out of Virginia, Athens, Virginia, but it's different than the white pine you're sawing on up in Michigan.
Yeah, so this, I just kind of was feeling the saw as I was going through, and it went well, so that was good.
Great job, buddy. Fast, lightning fast. 11.35, Dakota Robards.
Here's a look at the run from Grant Foreman over on stand number 2, and there's where things went wrong. It's straight out of the gate. He's got a very thick disc, and I think he was already thinking about that, and he stuffs up the saw, stopped the chain completely. Has to come back over and try to squeeze that cut in there. You see the power had the motor sort of wobble back and forth as he's trying to get that thing lined up. He is running right up the edge of that line, and I think down at the bottom far side is where he got the line, completely severed it. Dakota Robards got every ounce out of that saw. You watch the sawdust, especially, I should say sawdust, the wood chips, hitting his chaps on the way down through the wood. They're almost pulsing. That tells me that housing around the clutch and around the chain brake was filling up with chips and eventually just sort of puking them out in pulses. The next step usually after that is the chain just stops because you have just maximized or overloaded that chain, or that what that saw will do. He was right at the limit, and he's rewarded with a really exceptional time.
Well, 2 disciplines and 2 great performances from Dakota Robards. Personal best again, an 11.35, 2 personal bests in a row. Has him on top, of course, that's the first heat, but 11.35 from what we've seen so far today. 11.35 is going to be a good competitive time at the very least here in the stock saw.
But stock saw, like you said, I'm glad to have that over with. I don't think he realizes his own potential. You're looking at a champion in the making here.
Absolutely. Second generation lumberjack, Cody Robards. And here we go for our next heat. Heat 2 of the stock saw. On position 1, let's give it up for Trevor Beaudry. And on position 2, Ben Whalen.
Heat 2 of the stock saw. Position 1, Trevor Beaudry from New Hampshire. Ben Whalen. Number 2, Ben Whalen with a good effort to open up his day here in the Pool B competition with the Springboard. Time to beat again. Dakota Robarge, good time, 11.35.
Warm up your saws. Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Whalen very quick on the start. Oh, too aggressive. Oh, what is going on stand number 2? Ben Whalen just struggling, trying to make a complete disc. Trevor Beaudry not waiting around. He has a very thin bottom on his first disc. Trouble just all over the board for Ben Whalen. Shakes his head, just frustration for Ben Whalen as he steps away. Time is still officially running for Ben Whalen. This will be an interesting ruling because technically I think he's going to DQ for running out of time.
Oh, going overtime.
Well, yeah, because the time is still running. He still has cuttable wood. But I believe in the stock saw there's a 1 minute time limit, which we'll see here in just 5 seconds, I guess. And so he technically hasn't DQ'd yet. There. Now he's DQ'd.
Okay. That's an automatic.
So he
1 minute.
He up and quit, basically, is what happened.
Well,
I don't know what the judge is looking at. There's nothing to look at. Now he has DQ'd. He hadn't DQ'd. So he sort of just gave up. And I can't get
hardly
behind
blame
that.
him, right?
Well, but I can't get behind.
Okay, after reviewing the start, stand 1, good cut, DQ on stand 2.
Get a quick word with Trevor. How's it going, buddy? Hey, we always say it's thin to win, thin to win. You got the front page of the sports section there, buddy. That is wicked thin. How confident are you when you're running the saw to know when that disc hits the ground, it's going to be a solid disc? Talk about that cut.
So sometimes you just have to believe in yourself, Dave. They were both this thin. I definitely could tell it was thin when I was cutting it, but I'm like, well, I'm just going to cut straight and it's going to be fine. And I did, and then I was like, okay, let's make a good switch and cut another one. And that one was pretty skinny too, but I'm like, well, if it hits the ground and it's not complete, I got plenty of space for a third.
Great cut, great. Love getting Trevor Beaudry on the mic, one of the best athletes and a great entertainer. Well, we're going to see if I think he's going to...
All right, let's take a look at this run. Stand number 2, Ben Whalen. So right out of the gate, he's very quick to the wood. He goes back, was cutting out, goes back, and he's just chewing away. He's made, 3 attempts, 4 attempts, and just could not get a complete disc. At this point, he has a massive disc just to have one complete run. Now, at this point, he's got to try to sneak in his upcut. He doesn't sneak in his upcut, keeps chasing that through, and he just he gives up at this point. Now listen, there's still cuttable wood there. He has not DQ'd at this point unless he had a jump gun or something else we don't know about. He walks away, puts the saw down. He doesn't officially DQ until the clock runs out. Here's where this could hurt him even worse. If he'd somehow just attempted and succeeded at sneaking in even a slow upcut at that second cut, he could have picked up 1 point, maybe even 2 points, who knows? And at the end of the day, that could be the difference between 4th and 5th, or, Tommy, 7th and 8th, and being relegated.
Yeah, that's also a possibility. Yeah, we have to talk about that. Well, great point there, Kevin. You're absolutely right. I don't know. That's the first time I've ever seen.
This, though. He was DQ'd out of the gate. False start is listed for his reason for DQ.
Okay.
take all that stuff I just said, rewind like 3.5 minutes,
off the record,
and throw it in the trash.
Okay, all right. Well, either way, it's a DQ. So Ben Whalen got to be disappointed with that. Trevor Beaudry, good time. I mean, a good official time. It's now 12.42. And Dakota Robarge still on top, 11.35.
All right. Heat 3 coming up in the stock saw on position 1. Let's hear it for Zach Brous. And on position 2, the big man, Mark Beauquin.
Another matchup here, Zach Brous and Mark Beauquin. That's Brous in the foreground there, Mark Beauquin behind him on stand number 2. For their effort at the stock saw, Mark Beauquin had a tough time of it with the springboard chop, to be sure. Be looking to get some back here.
Yep. Both of these guys with a less than optimal performance in that springboard run.
Warm up your saws. Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Both feet on terra firma, and these guys are getting these saws locked into the top of the block. They just saw the disasters that have been where some of the other competitors, both these guys, very even race. It is going to be Zach Brous on stand number 1 at 11.7, showing his unofficial time. I think the interval is going to come out a lot closer than the unofficial clock show.
Zach Brous in the 11s. Looking forward to seeing.
I tell you what, though, I don't think either one of them got Dakota Robarge. They both had fast cuts. I don't think either one of them got Dakota.
Okay, both cuts are good.
Boy, Zach, great cut, the one-hand grab. You just threw that saw with confidence in the wood and the fist pump afterwards. Love it, buddy. Talk about it.
Yeah, I mean, I like to practice the stock saw. I run a saw every day for work, and I consider myself to be one of the best stock sawyers in the country. So I knew if I was in that 11-second time, I'd have a chance at retaining the lead. So pretty happy with that cut.
You know, some of the athletes we've seen around the world, they'll get the saw and they'll rock the bar back and forth. What is your theory about keeping a level bar, keeping a level plane, or actually rocking it? And why does that, what makes one better than the other?
I don't really, rocking it, you're kind of double cutting. It's not nearly as fast. Fastest way from point A to point B, so just go straight down, and then nice straight upcut, and I kind of throw it out to save some time.
Great cut. Congratulations, Zach Brous in the 11s.
Well, here's a look at that run from Zach Brous, up straight, down through the wood. Very, like he said, shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line, and he is accomplishing it beautifully. Very consistent thickness, even a little bit of timber left. He's not chasing right up that line. Very smooth, fast cut from Zach Brous. Should be in the top 2.
Yeah, absolute precision there from Zach Brous. Good time there. Not good enough, as you said, Kevin, not good enough to catch Dakota Robarge. 11.58 second place for Zach Brous, and behind him Mark Beauquin with a 12.18.
There's a trick there, and it makes a lot of sense. Put a little mark there, totally legal. So you're aiming at a point. You're not just aiming at the top handle. You're aiming for a direct spot on that handle, and that helps any little advantage, and they'll take it.
Well, you see Zach Brous now sitting at 11.58 seconds in second place, and Mark Beauquin coming back. Third place now at 12.18. Robarge still your leader at 11.35. All right, here it is, final heat of the stock saw. On position 1, let's hear it for Walt Page. And on position 2, your 7-time national champion, Matt Coger.
Here we go, another matchup between Walt Page and Matt Coger in the marquee matchup, the final heat of the stock saw. Walt Page, good effort, Springboard to get his day started. Probably a little disappointing for Matt Koger. His Springboard cut there could have been better, so he's looking to go ahead and shore up the point situation a little bit here.
Hey, Tommy, I've been thinking about that Springboard performance. I don't think we saw everything. I think maybe that was not necessarily like a foot on the brake, but I don't think the throttle was full. It's semifinal thing. He's a 7-time champ. Like, do you really need to show all your cards today?
Swing with the fences when you're 6 feet up in the air.
Exactly.
I don't know,
Ready.
Yeah, good.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go.
It was Advantage Page when they went head-to-head in the Springboard. They're going at it again here today. Look at the determination. Whoa. Look at the quick transitions for both of these guys. Our first look. Oh, it is.
Oh, I think Matt got him.
It is Matt Koger reeling in Walt Page at the end in that upcut. What a great race. Two exceptional operators showing times in that low to mid 11-second range. We'll see if Dakota Robarge is timing. These guys are all kind of in that top, I'll say 3 to 4 spots for these 11s.
Both cuts are good.
Well, we're waiting patiently, Matt, to see if you're going to win that. You're going to spoil Robarge's day, aren't you, buddy?
He started out spoiling my day, so I had to give him something in return. Now he's going great today, and it's awesome to watch, man. Like, I remember we watching him growing up as a kid, and then, like, now we get to compete together. Now it's getting exciting.
Page slightly ahead of you on the down cut. Made the transition slightly ahead, but I could just see you found your way on that upcut. Is that just saying, hey, that this MS661, I can give it a little more? It's taking a little more weight on the upcut. Is that the adjustment?
Yeah, just that. And then for me, it's just, I've just kind of reevaluated my stance and really valued what I'm doing and kind of went back to what I originally started at whenever I first was in Lehigh, Utah in 2009. So now I'm like kind of getting back into it, and then it's starting to feel really good.
This is your 7-time national champion for a reason. Matt, great cut. Congratulations. Unofficially, you might have won it. We're waiting patiently. Regardless, massive steel points you've accumulated after 2 events. Go rest up, buddy.
Thank you.
Well, here we got it split screen, side by side. You're looking at Walt Page on the left, Matt Koger on the right, and we're going to look at these side by side because it was such a tight finish between these two competitors. Look at how quick they transition between cut 1, cut 2. If you're out in the air, you're not cutting timber, you're not gaining ground. So get back in the timber as quick as possible. Matt Koger, though, on that upcut, just found another gear. Tommy, this is where I would expect Matt Koger to swing for the fences a bit. Wants to feel out that saw and just see how much he can push it. Gives him a little idea of what he might be able to do tomorrow. And look at the time he's rewarded with at 11.13, leaping ahead of Dakota Robarge, taking the win here in the stock saw.
Yeah, third place is going to be Walt Page with his official time of 11.45. So things very tight at the top of that leaderboard as we wrap up with the stock saw. Let's take a look at our overall standings after 2 disciplines right there, and it's Walt Page, Dakota Robarge, and Matt Koger all tied at 14 points. So what a grace we had up at the front. Trevor Beaudry in 4th place. 4th place is essential. You got to be there at the end of the day.
What drives us may be different, but what we share is the pursuit. Whether taken on the job site or your own backyard, let the pursuit of the perfect cut begin. STIHL zero-turn mowers are here. Right now, get 0% financing plus up to a $1,500 instant rebate on select STIHL zero-turn mowers. Real STIHL.
Your local Ace is the largest national retailer of steel power tools. Gas or battery, you won't find this full lineup at a warehouse store. You can find it at Ace.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
Duluth Trading Company was born from generations who showed us that the only way to live life is to live it hands-on.
To do it the hard way. To take the trail untrodden. To take the damn thing apart, put it back together, and have the world be better for it.
We don't think that the go all in, dig deep, and get your hands dirty spirit exists in everybody.
We know it does. Duluth Trading. Take on life with your own two hands.
Let's roll, let's go.
When we work in harmony, anything is possible.
From Milwaukee, our live coverage continues. 2024 STIHL Timbersports U.S. Pro semifinals. 8 competitors trying to make it to the top 4 so they can go on and compete in the final coming up tomorrow. Let's take a look at our overall points after 2 disciplines here. Walt Page, first place, tied with Dakota Robarge and Matt Koger. Page and Koger, you would expect that sort of trajectory for those two, but Dakota Robarge, we've not seen him make it all the way to the finals yet, and that is a magnificent start for him, so good shape. Trevor Beaudry in that all-important 4th spot. Down to Dave Jewett for our intros.
Chop, Dakota Robarge versus Ben Whalen. And Dave, Dakota Robarge tied for the lead. And he
translate that now into the standing block. 30 centimeters and 12 inches. Watch the bouncer pitch to the front, quick transition to the backside.
Ready to go now. Axe is back in the hands now, and Dakota Robarge with the lead in points. And right now we get our first look at the standing block. Dakota.
Athletes ready.
Stand
going up against
to
Ben
your
Whalen.
timber.
Ben disappointed
3,
in his stock
2,
soft performance,
1,
to be sure.
Go!
Disappointed and frustrated that he's got to put that behind him. He is a great standing block cutter. Both of these guys are great standing block cutters. Robarge around very quickly with a very small looking front face. I'm concerned he may have just taken out alone in the front side of that log. Whalen's got a much larger front face. I think, no, Robarge is going to come out with a win. Wow. I was a little nervous on that one. That was a really tight, small front face, and he had to muscle his way through the back of that block. He took the long way from back to front on that log.
Both cuts are good.
Hey, Dakota, I like what happened after the cut. I was saying, through all my years of competing, you see some of these athletes, they take a few bad hits, the block severs, they shake their head, they walk off the stage. It's a nonsensical go-nowhere movement. You stayed. You looked at it, you analyzed the damage, you look at your hip placement, the slope, your foot placement, revisiting the event. If something's going wrong, the evidence is right in front of you and begging to be discovered, and you did that. Talk about what you're looking at.
Well, it was telling me instead of 2 drives in the front, I should have put 3 up the guts. Because I don't think I reached my firewood. So I think that would have helped a lot.
And it looked like you went a little flat with your down hits in the backside. Would you agree?
Yeah, I agree with that. It wasn't the greatest cut. So hopefully I can get another chance tomorrow if I make it. So.
Well, the good news is when you say it's not a great cut, you're 20 seconds, buddy. Still pretty damn fast. Good to see you're in the lead, momentarily tied. Big round of applause, Dakota Robarge tearing it up.
Well, I feel like this is the first time we may have seen the nerves, the lights, the camera, the action, the music start to play in with Dakota Robarge. He is capable of a better cut than this. Got a great time, muscled his way through it, made it happen, but it just wasn't the hit placement. It wasn't a mentally sharp cut. The axe was not going where it needed to go for him, and he was a little bit flat on those down hits. Didn't get the job done. He even said it in the interview with Dave. Should have put some more drivers in the front of it, cleared some of that wood out, and it would have had an easier time in the back.
Well, for the third time. Dakota Robarge appears early on in the heats here in the standing block chop and puts down a good time at 20.18, listed as a personal best for him. For Ben Whalen, a PB as well at 21.88.
Heat 2 of the standing block chop, Trevor Beaudry and Zach Brous.
Stand 1 there, you see Trevor Beaudry doing well enough today to, at least at the start of this standing block competition, to find himself in the top 4 in overall points. That is the point of the whole thing here in this pool competition. Be among the top 5 of these 8 hopefuls, top 4 of these 8 hopefuls, to get yourself into the finals. Going up against Zach Brous.
Athletes ready.
Today. Springboard.
Stand to your timber.
Stock saw.
3, 2, 1, go!
Zach Brous didn't really get a chance to show his standing block cutting skills in the Springboard with a terrible board set. But look at the beautiful front face. Oh, I think he bailed out of that a little too soon. Had a beautiful front face going. Beaudry looking great here on the backside, but he's got a ton of wood on the far side. He's driving a ton of it. Wow. He doesn't. Trevor Beaudry just drove an immense amount of wood on the far side of that block. Oh, this is a bad situation. There it is. Brous steps up higher. He's not happy with that cut, and he knows it. See the bottom of that log split. He was dog-legged. He was driving the stump, driving down on the backside of that block into the stump instead of into the fresh air that he opened up on the front face of that log.
Both cuts are good.
Trevor, what is the thought process in the back of that log? You put one up, one down, one more up near. We've seen Koger do it. Lentz followed that technique. Now you're into it. What is the idea of leaving that far wood?
That was a mistake.
No, so I'm not going anywhere until you describe what is.
So typically, if you get rid of that near, if you can break the near in that log, the far will break. In this log, that was a mistake. I don't even, like, I was cutting and I was like, as I was cutting, I'm like, you idiot, you're supposed to go 2 up here. I left a little more than I really wanted to, and that's why it punched off so hard. It probably actually cost me some time. Still happy with that cut. That's the best I've ever cut on this stage, so I can't complain about that, but definitely left some on the table there with that cut.
You told me a few weeks ago at a tournament you've changed your technique from last year to this year. I thought it was the delivery you were talking about. Can you touch on that?
Yeah, so really it's been like a 2 or 3 year process. I was cutting and I was kind of disjointed from my hips to my arms. My arms are a little early. And your big muscles, well, my big muscles are my legs. So being able to create that rotational force and drive through with your legs and then have your arms come through and the axe come through is really advantageous. And so it's been a several year process working to make that happen.
Great job, Trevor. 1906. You're the time to beat, buddy. Big round of applause, Trevor Beaudry.
Let's go back and look at these two guys side by side. There's Beaudry on the near side to us. You can watch him as he goes into the backside of this log. I got to be honest, I thought the train was just completely off the tracks in the back of this block, but he held his nerve, stayed together, opens it 1 and 1 in the back, and then just keeps working the near on this, punches well into the near, but look at, there's half, or I should say a quarter of the log out there. I still don't know how this comes off. He pulls it off. He chased those two drivers, one right in after the other, sliced through the fibers on the far side, and knocks the top off the block.
Well, he unloads on that block and saves the day. A 1906, a personal best for Trevor Beaudry. Has him on top ahead of Dakota Robarge. Zach Brous, 28.82. third heat of the standing block. And here we go with Mark Boquin, Grant Foreman.
And Mark Boquin saying,
time to beat again. Trevor Beaudry, 19.06.
Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Well, neither one of these guys really excelled in the springboard chop, but they're both good choppers. Now this block has nowhere to run. It is firmly locked into the stage, and they are too. Foreman is around early and has a great job done on the front side of this log. Axe hanging a bit for him in the back, but he'll be going into a drive. One in the guts, one far, has come back to the middle. Boquin just passed Foreman at the end of that block. I thought Foreman had it. He was driving cleanly. He had a great wide open front face. Boquin just put a little more horsepower into it and drove through a little more timber.
19 seconds. Potentially our new leader, 1906, will be the time to beat. Boquin, normally known as a single author and underhand cutter, now our best standing block.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Both cuts are good.
great cut, Mark. After the judge's decision, you went back, you looked at that block one last time. What are you looking at? Let's bring this blade out. We're going to get a close-up. These blades are about $650 a piece. Sometimes they're up to 8 inches wide. How'd the cut go? What made you to choose to decide to use this blade? I'm going to stay back away from that.
Well, I had my good buddy and competitor, Brandon Graves, that just axed for me, and it tested really well. So I was really excited to try it out in that standing block. And there's definitely some things I still need to work on. I've been working on my standing block a lot, my swing. And I think there's one chip hit on the back I didn't need to take, but I was very happy with it. I'm really looking forward on growing in that event and getting better.
This axe has had quite a journey. It's made in Masterton, New Zealand. It's called a Tuatai Kingi. Brought over to the U.S., ground, then Brandon puts a final edge on it for you.
Yeah, he ground up some for me as well, but this one, did he grind this one out? Did you grind this one too? Yeah, he ground this one too.
Oh, yeah, it really is a team effort. You have to have your buddies grind up your gear. You got to get them shipped over. Put the 30-inch hickory handle in it. Got a beautiful standing here in Milwaukee. Good job, buddy. There you go, Mark Boquin. We're going to wait to see if he's going to be in the number 1 or number 2 position in the standing block.
Let's have a look at that. I got to watch a little bit of the replay action after the event here, and Grant Foreman didn't have the front side of this log as clean and proper as I thought. From our perspective out here in the crowd, our side of it was pretty good, but the far side away from us was not as clean and good. You're watching Mark Boquin here in the near ground get around to the far side of the log. Had a pretty good job done. Could have cleaned up the top side of that log a little more. Bottom side looks great. And then Boquin just applies the horsepower, drives far. There it is.
My right arm and a couple fillings came
Mark
loose.
Boquin there with a time of 19.22 officially. He's not going to get him past Trevor Beaudry. Beaudry still on top. Dave Robarge and Grant Foreman with 20.48.
Boquin now in second place at 19.22.
Fourth and final heat of the standing block chop, Walt Page and Matthew Koger. A chopping rematch. We had them head-to-head in the Springboard.
Walt Page on stand 1, Matt Koger on stand number 2. These two were tied at the top of our leaderboard in points, overall points, coming into this third discipline.
Well, these guys have just been trading blows in every discipline. Sure. It was Walt Page in the springboard. It was Matt Koger in the stock saw.
Athletes ready.
Yeah.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Walt Page just a little bit quicker on the go than Matt Coger was. Matt Coger slipping on chips as he works his way around. He has a massive front face worked into that block. He'll be driving here shortly.
Whoa.
There it is. What a race between two exceptional cutters. Matt Coger showing a 15.5 second standing block.
And that was ferocity. If you can see Matt Coger's face, hopefully we'll see it in the replay.
Both cuts are good.
How's it going, buddy? Pretty good. My job's easy. I got to watch you guys. Hey, great cut, Matt. I talked to you earlier. We had a tournament earlier this spring. It wasn't Matt Coger. You didn't win everything. We'll talk more about that in the finals tomorrow. What's it like going to some tournaments knowing you're going to have to sacrifice some wins in order to test out different techniques? And are we executing the techniques that we were working on this spring?
Yeah, definitely executing that out. You know, sometimes, you just got to put sometimes winning on the back burner and just go for sometimes. Like, you got to go for it.
Absolutely, a 6-hit front, just a textbook. You always do that and put a couple more in the backside, but you have to know right behind you that digital clock's running. Do you know where you are when you're hitting? Do you have an internal clock that says, hey, I'm at 14 seconds, I got to get this block off?
Yeah, I can feel that sometimes. Like, you know, usually when you're in the moment, you're just feeling everything kind of working, and you know that you're going to be in that low time frame, and you know, that's kind of like what I go for, is just kind of that feel.
Great job, 8 steal points. Got a feeling we're going to see you again, kind of standing block tomorrow. Big round of applause from Grafton, West Virginia. Your 7-time champion, Matt Coger.
Here's a look at both of these guys side by side. Like I said, they've just been duking it out all day. Matt Coger comes in a little bit lower than he intended on that face, but a beautiful classic 6-hit face. Nice slope, nice even lines, everything lining up, excellent efficiency when you chase one hit right in after the other. Walt Page right on his heels, just a blow and a half behind Matt Coger. What a great run from our 7-time STIHL TimberSports U.S. champion.
And there's the official time. It's 15.41. Of course, Matt Coger getting top points in the standing block chop. Walt Page, 17.29. Third place is going to be Trevor Beaudry and Mark Beauquin in fourth with 19.22. We are halfway through with our heats. Let's take a look at our overall points. That's all important. And now it's Matt Coger with a slight edge on Walt Page of 1 single point. Dakota Robarge, who was tied with the top two, has now dropped down a few spots back there. And Trevor Beaudry in that all-important 4th spot right now, and he's 3 points ahead of all of his pursuers right now. That's the whole point. Stay in the top 4, and you go to the finals. Perfect weather, great crowd here. What a day. A lot going on in Milwaukee this weekend. We got the air and water show. These fighter jets flying overhead back and forth. And ball games going on, concerts up on the hill there. Happy weekend here at German Fest, to be sure. German Fest, kind of like a Oktoberfest in the middle of July, and it feels kind of like Oktoberfest in the fall in Munich. I mean, it is nice, cool, breezy.
And Dakota Robarge.
Let's get it on. Let's go on the second half of this competition here. It's the single buck. Heat number 1, Ben Whalen, Dakota Robarge again. Dakota now sitting in 3rd place in overall points.
Robarge riding that wave. These logs are 460 millimeters, 46 centimeters.
Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Whalen on stand 1 looking to dig himself out of a bit of a points deficit. Robarge on stand 2 looking to maintain a solid point performance. Robarge just putting the pace to it. A hang up at the bottom as his feet slide on the deck, and he hangs a raker on the far side of that log. Whalen about 2 pushes behind. Robarge showing around a 14-second run for Dakota Robarge.
Both cuts are good.
We're going to replay of Cody Robarge here. A slight hang. Cody, again, the big stage, big single buck cut. Slight hang off the top. Talk about it.
Yeah, I had a little skip at the top, going through the wood. It wasn't super smooth. Then that hang at the bottom. All I wanted to do was make a clean cut, and I didn't, so.
Not a bad cut. It could be worse. We've seen some of the best breakout. The saw can break out of the disc. Truly hang. A great recovery, truly, for the field of athletes. How do you get up there? You really have to stay loose in this event, don't you? Your father, Wally Robarge, who I competed against, was a great single bucker.
Yeah, that event there is not necessarily my best event. It's probably my worst event, but just move on and go for the next one. So.
Absolutely, you're going to move on to the underhand chop, one of your best events coming up. There's our leader in the single buck in 14:06.
Here's a look at Ben Whalen on stand number 1. Trouble was nearly straight away at the top. Well, he's still in the small wood at the top of this log. Angle changes with this saw can be very risky when you're at the start or stop, or I should say, beginning or end of the saw, and you'll end up hanging a raker on those corners. It is just a momentum killer as you're trying to maintain pace down through the log. Here's a look at stand number 2, Dakota Robarge sitting in 3rd place overall with a whole lot of STIHL Timbersports overall points in his pocket. Draws the nose of that saw all the way back in. See some foot slippage though on that stage. It may have been what caused his hang up. It may have, I see him adjusting his footing there. I don't like to see feet move during that single buck event. You try to reset, change, shift your position. It changes how you address or how you are addressing the block with the saw, and that may have been the cause of that hang up.
Dakota looking a little bit peeved at the end about that hang up there, but a time of 14.06 has him atop our leaderboard. Of course, this is the first heat of single buck.
Heat 2 of the single buck, Zach Brous and Trevor Beaudry. Beaudry on fire. I had the honor of racing Trevor Beaudry in the single buck.
Zach Brous, Trevor Beaudry. That's Brous on the left, Beaudry on the right. Trevor Beaudry hanging in there in that all-important 4th position. Got to finish in the top 4. Only half the field's going into the finals.
Well, this is going to be a really tight matchup here. We've got Zach Brous on stand 1, Trevor Beaudry on 2. Trevor Beaudry's been spending a lot of time on the gray matter side of this, the technique, the brain side of this. And you can see, trouble though off the start though for Trevor Beaudry as he hangs on a pole stroke. Just hooked a raker on the near side of that log. Zach Brous is going to put a ton of horsepower on the saw, but Beaudry's got it. Little short stroke at the end. He knew that was about to come off. Threw a little short stroke at it so he could finish on a push stroke and really shove that saw through the bottom of the log. Solid time, Trevor Beaudry.
We'll see Trevor Beaudry. We're going to see on the replays. Trevor Beaudry taking a short
Both cuts are good.
Well, here's Trevor Beaudry's cut right here. Level, great cutting on the pull stroke. Hey, Trevor, we're going to see you do a little short stroke at the bottom just to play it safe. I think it paid off. You talk about how you saw it reacted in this wood. Not world record wood. Fast, but sometimes you just have to adjust to the log today.
Yeah, so this wood sawed kind of doughy almost. Which, I mean, it didn't feel free running the saw back and forth. It felt really heavy. I was a little squirrely off the top, had a mini hang, but then down in the bottom, it's just, it was kind of doughy, so it's slowing you down. So I'm like, okay, nice, easy, just cut right through the bottom. Nice couple quick short strokes on the bottom and just have it fall off. Not worth the hang and losing the time there. Just put a nice clean cut down and move on to the next event.
Great job, smart move, big skill points. Trevor Beaudry out of Walpole, New Hampshire.
Well, straight away off the top, he's on about his third
here
hole,
it is right here, like
and he
said.
sort of heels in and just hangs that raker on the near side. There's still some improvement. He has made a significant gains in his single buck run, but Dave Jewett will be watching this. Trevor Beaudry will be watching this. That handle has some more distance to travel to the block, and he knows it. There's more to gain. Trevor is going to become exceptionally dangerous in this single buck discipline.
Got himself a personal best. All in all, pretty good effort there. Trevor Beaudry, 14.62. Got him in second place behind Dakota Robarge. Zach Browse's time officially 15.89.
Beaudry's been hanging out in that danger zone
had some
in the points battle. So this is that's a big move. That's a big step up for him.
And you'd see that on the replay.
Third heat of the single buck, Grant Foreman and Mark Beauquin. Holy cow, get ready for this. Buckle up. Beauquin. And there goes the stage again slightly leaning to the right. Mark Beauquin.
Grant Foreman in the foreground there. It's been a bit of a frustrating day for Grant Foreman so far. He really has a lot of ground to make up going up against Mark Beauquin. You see him in the background there. Time to beat is 14.06 from the first heat, Dakota Robarge.
Well, Tommy, this is definitely our single bucker pool. Pool B, there's just a lot of great saw operators here, and these guys are part of that group. I wish I could go down there on that stage and talk to Grant Foreman. He's not having the day that he should be having. And one of the things with Grant, he's a very cerebral cutter in any discipline. He's very analytical. He wants to do it just right. You just got to throw it to the wind right
Athletes
now.
ready.
You just got to rely on muscle memory.
Stands
You just
to
got to
your
throw
timber.
all the cards on the table right now.
3, 2, 1, go!
Of course, stand number 2, Mark Beauquin on the right is going to be doing the same thing as well. You know what, Grant, though, he's got some pace to it now. This might be a pretty solid race. Oh, a hang-up from Beauquin in the bottom. Holy cow.
I think Grant just edged him there, maybe.
How many things can go wrong in one heat in a very simple, straightforward event like the single buck? Big hang-up from Beauquin towards the bottom of that cut. Breakout from Grant Foreman. Both of these athletes just absolutely sent that single buck run. And neither one of them had a great cut, but the times speak for themselves.
Both cuts are good.
I'm looking at your knees. I'm looking at your knees. I ripped it.
Mark, you're so strong, you're so aggressive, you're so technical, but every year you get more and more technical. If you could do that again, what went wrong? Looked like you had a hook on the pull stroke.
Yeah, I don't know if I changed angles a little too much. I'm trying to run the saw smoother, But also near that window, I noticed things flaking in my way as I was pulling. I don't know if I hit that or hung a raker. I'd have to watch. When you watch, was I lifting or heeling?
For me, I know you hooked it. We call it the raker. The raker is what cleans the chips out. For me, buddy, it looked like when you started the pull stroke, you grip too tight. For one, you're gripping too tight. But if you pull down, you're going to dive that in. You've got plenty of radius, plenty of belly on that saw. To pull the saw back, just give a little crank of your hands. That'll put just enough pressure in, because these teeth and rakers are only cutting thousands. So they all add up. But sometimes it's just sometimes it's as simple as loosening the grip.
Gotcha. Yep. I'm working on it. I'll get better, I hope.
All right, get out of here. See ya. They have the underhand shot coming up.
Here's a look at the run from Grant Foreman. Determination off the top. He is just sending it there. A little bit of a healing action at the top of the log. Gets it sorted out through the middle. And then down here towards the bottom eighth of the log snaps out. I didn't see, that was a handle against there. Goes back, stays in the cut, finishes the cut. That will count as a complete disc because he did cut all the timber. Mark Boquin here on stand number 2. Absolute maniac. Tons of power in this man. Big hang up though, and as Dave Jewett points out, sometimes you just got to relax and let the saw cut. He is trying to rip wood off the near side of that log with 2 big hangs. Still comes out in the 12-second range.
12.61 is the official time for Mark Boquin. Grant Foreman right behind him at 13.77. Could have been a lot better, but for that tiny piece that just held on at the very end there.
Final heat of the single buck, Walt Page and Matt Koger.
Okay, Walt Page and Matt Koger going up against each other. I think it's going to be that way all day today. Final heat of the single buck, time to beat. Mark Boquin's time, he just laid down 12.61. These two pretty good hands at the single buck as well.
And Tommy, the timber is there today. The guys are saying that the wood feels doughy, but it's cutting, it's shifting, it's moving. So these guys, they'll be down in the 12s. They'll be down in the 12s for sure, barring any sort of over-aggressive behavior on their part, hang-ups and whatnot.
As you mentioned back in our Pool A competition, the single buck is now, you are your own chairman here. You are the one-man band. You have to do all the prep yourself and all the preparation.
Yeah, if you go back not too far back in timber sports history, these guys had the aid of a second out there, a helper that would run wedge, apply oil. Well, this is
athletes
those days
ready.
are gone. You're on your own.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
When that first happened, the prevailing thought was it'll never work. The saws will never run without a wedge and oil. Well, they're running, and these guys are running very well. Matt Koger right now with the advantage over Walt Page. There it is. Koger showing a 13 flat. I don't know if that's going to be enough for the win. We'll wait for the official time. Very clean cutting from both of these athletes. You could put that in a sawing instructional video, really, if you wanted to.
Both cuts are good.
12.61, the time to beat. Here's Matt Koger. Very level, pushing the saw straight. We've worked on this. Matt Koger taking long trips up to Saint Etienne, Quebec to train with J.P. Mercier. What's that grimace all about, Matt? You think you could have gone faster? I thought it looked great.
No, it was a good field. JP touched the saws up. They really needed it. And, it just kind of got smoother. And, it's an amazing art, those guys doing up saws. And it's like being able to use them and put them to good use. And it's a good feeling.
Let's rewind. 1 year ago on this stage today in the finals, it cost you a national title. You chose to take a very thin disc in the single buck. It broke out. It went, I seen the replay. It went over your leg. Did not cut your leg. It's very dangerous. Does that rattle you at all, knowing, I just broke out, especially in the lower half of that log? It's very dangerous. How do you move forward?
You you're aware of the present danger, but you just got to kind of like let it just slide. You know, you pay attention to what you're doing, and hopefully like your movements will keep that from happening, getting cut and stuff. But just kind of got to put it in the back of your mind, just like, I'm not going to focus on that. I'm going to focus on one thing at a time, and just kind of focus on the stroke, each one all the way to the bottom, and just kind of get it to feel right.
Fast, smooth, very pure cut. I love it, Matt. Waiting patiently. So you can hang out here, but you got an underhand cut coming up. This guy's one of the best underhand cutters in the world. Stick around to see this. In the meantime, you'll find out, but it's coming very soon, Matt. I bet it's going to be close. You and Mark Boquin. Matt Koger.
Well, let's take a look at this run from Matt Koger. I would have to say the best technical and clean cut we've seen from Pool B action all day here today. That saw, you could use that in an instructional video. Yeah, maybe he could get a little more out of it. Maybe he could be a little more aggressive, but what a smooth, clean, technical cut. That is going to pay dividends in the long run when we're moving on to finals time.
Matt Koger's official time, 13 flat. Going to be Mark Boquin is your winner. 12.61 gets the top points in the single buck. Grant Foreman in third place. Dakota Robarge in fourth. But for Mark Boquin, that was very meaningful in terms of the overall points, which is a big part of the story here. Coming into this one, Trevor Beaudry was the man holding down the fourth spot. Well, Mark Boquin winning that one. Mark Boquin allowed him to slip by and get into that fourth spot. So Mark Boquin has achieved the top four here. And that's what today is all about. Beaudry, Foreman, Browse, Whalen all pursuing him. The last final two events, which we have coming up. We got chopping with the underhand coming up momentarily.
The pursuit of the perfect cut continues with our full line of STIHL mowers. From gas or battery to zero turns and push mowers, join the pursuit and find your perfect cut. 0% financing available for qualified buyers. Real STIHL. Find yours.
Let's roll, let's go.
When we work in harmony, anything is possible.
Your local Ace is the largest national retailer of STIHL power tools. Gas or battery, you won't find this full lineup at a warehouse store. You can find it at Ace.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
Duluth Trading Company was born from generations who showed us that the only way to live life is to live it hands-on.
To do it the hard way. To take the trail untrodden. To take the damn thing apart, put it back together, and have the world be better for it.
We don't think that the go all in, dig deep, and get your hands dirty spirit exists in everybody.
We know it does. Duluth Trading. Take on life with your own two hands.
Live coverage continues from here in Milwaukee, where we're trying to set the field for the championship. U.S. Men's Championship 2024 STIHL Timbersports Series. Pool competition, 8 athletes in each pool, but only 4 can advance to the finals. It all depends on the overall point standings at the end of the day. Right now, as it stands here in Pool B with 2 disciplines left, it's Matt Koger, 7-time champion on top. Walt Page in second place. Dakota Robarge hanging in there in the top 3, and Mark Boquin in fourth as it stands right now. He and all his pursuers. Let's take a look at this discipline.
First heat of the underhand chop, Dakota Robarge and Ben Whalen.
Let's move it on. The axes are out. We're ready for heat number 1 of the underhand chop. Dakota Robarge, Ben Whalen. Dakota Robarge having kind of a magic day here. He has not ever been able to gain the championship here. He's made very few trips to these U.S. championships. I think maybe this is just his second one, and if he could pull that off this time around, that would certainly be a big boost, a feather in his cap to be sure.
Athletes
going up against
ready.
Ben Whalen.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
He is right there on the go, grabbing every tenth, every hundredth of a second as he can. I like what I see. I see big slabs of wood falling away from the front side of these logs. Robarge around first, low then high, high then low. Pairs of hits, release chips. And these guys are both doing a really solid job. But we hit the 20-second mark, 21:31, showing is the unofficial time for Dakota Robarge. Ben Whalen with some difficulties here in the back of the log. May not have had as much done in the front as he thought. It gets really tough when you have to take the long way to the front side of the log by boring into the back. So the judging team is looking at, I believe, the start for Dakota Robarge. I should point out that we are recording all this, obviously, for you folks at home, but we are also recording this at a very high speed resolution with an automated LED in the background. So when the automated countdown goes off, the 3, 2, 1, go, when it hits go, a light lights up in the background. We will have the light and the position of Dakota Robarge's axe to be able to tell if he cut before the go.
All eyes on that monitor, that playback system you mentioned there, Kevin.
Yeah, there's a lot of stripes over there right now, and so they are literally watching frame by frame for the go light to come on and the axe and where it is in position to the wood.
On our angle playback we just saw just a few minutes ago, it definitely, Dakota looked like he beat Ben Whalen to the wood, but that doesn't necessarily mean he jumped the gun.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, that's
as long as he doesn't beat the go to the wood.
Yeah.
And this is where we don't have a good view. I don't know if the light is going to show up.
Okay, after reviewing the cut, we've determined that both cuts are good.
There's a big sigh of relief for Dakota Robarge. Push the envelope, but don't push it off the table.
Yeah.
We never get this guy on the mic. This guy's been around since the beginning. This is Rich Hallett. He's been our head judge since day one of Timber Sports. He's traveled all over the world, made a lot of very difficult calls. The crowd in Milwaukee booed him almost off stage. We almost had to get security last year when Cassidy Shear from Hayward, Wisconsin was disqualified. Fortunately, it was reversed. Even the production crew said we've never been afraid for a head judge before. What were you looking at?
Yeah, we were looking at the start here, and he put his axe on top of the block, and the question was he cutting fibers before the start or before the go or not? We determined that he was just resting the axe there, and that it did not gain any advantage, and it was not a DQ.
Thanks. Big round of applause for Rich Hallett.
All right, I'm standing over here now with Dakota Robarge. Cody, talk to me about the cut, dude. You said you were awfully close to a foothold as well. You had to be nervous over there with the flag on the stage. Talk to me about all the emotions, my friend.
Well, honestly, I didn't even know the flag was for me. I noticed when I made that first hit, I was close to the foothold. I stepped it in on my second one, so I knew I didn't hit the foothold, but I didn't know it was a false start or what they were going for. But
well, that's good. That's confidence in your abilities. Dude, you have had an amazing day so far here at German Fest. Talk to me about how that feels being back up on this stage.
Oh, it feels great. It's been a few years. It's been since 2021, so this feels really good to get back to it.
All right, buddy. Good luck in the hot saw. Give it up for Cody Robarge.
So the actual penalty, or the potential penalty that he didn't get DQ'd for, was before they even started the cut. Dakota was resting the axe, the cutting edge of the axe, on the block, which that is axe in contact with the timber. You must not be touching the axe touching the block with the axe. So what they went back to look at was, did he make any sort of movements, actions, whatever, that would have caused the axe to sever wood fibers before the go? They said no, he was just resting the axe on the block. I tell you what, I wouldn't have that axe within 3 feet of the block. That would have been a bad way to go out.
21:04, the official time for Dakota Robards, and he takes the top points at the top position for now.
It looked like he changed his slope a little bit. I think he wished he had a little bit more.
All right, let's do it again. They're ready to go. Second heat of the underhand chop, Zach Brous and Grant Foreman.
Heat number 2, Zach Brous, Grant Foreman. Grant Foreman waiting for something good to happen on this day. Zach Brous has been a little up and down throughout this. Both of these athletes are in the bottom 4 as it stands right now, so they need some breakthrough things to happen here in this and the hot saw event in order to have a chance of making it to the finals.
Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
These guys are well behind the go, I think. I think they were a little nervous about a jump gun here. Wait till you see these two guys disassemble the block. This is a strategic disassembly. Oh, Grant Foreman, though, a little bit of a nervous step off. Sends that axe to the maker's mark, though, on the opening blow on the backside. Once he gets it reeled back in, let's see who did the work on the front side of the log. We'll know as this thing breaks off. It is Brous over Foreman. Foreman just reached back to his heels on that last driving blow, trying to get through whatever fibers were holding at the bottom of that log.
Both cuts are good.
Unofficially for Brous, 23.37. We know that'll fall a little bit. Brousey, that axe was annihilating that log on the backside. Front, you did a little bit of extra work, came off clean. Talk to me about the cut, buddy.
Yeah, I opened up a little too wide of a scarf in the front. That's why it's a little slower time. I had a harder time getting to the middle, but it was a great block. Perfect match for this axe. Thank you, Scooter Coger. I traded him $250 and a really crappy axe for this one, so thanks to him.
All right, dude, hot saw coming up. How are you feeling about the hot saw today?
Well, I have no choice but to go for a 5-second cut, so saw's running great. Got a good chain from Mike Sullivan. Let it rip.
All right, buddy, good luck. Give it up for Zach Brous, everybody.
Let's take a look here at Grant Foreman. He's there, number 54, closer to the camera. And as he makes this turn, he's going into his drives right now, punches it down in the guts there one time, steps around, and he's just out on his toes on the edge of that block. Has to come down, make contact, get back up, but then wham! This opening hit, that axe was loving that block. He presented it well, straight to the handle on that opening drive once he got it reeled back in. Here's a look at that run from Zach Brous. He did lots of work on the front side of that log, was buried deep into the front side of that log. That set him up for a great finish here as he works into the back, narrowed up his face a little bit. I think it may have been intentional because he just knew he had done so much on the front. Daylight showing on the top, drove through on the bottom. Great run for both of these guys. Just a few things that need to get cleaned up along the way.
Zach Brous, an official time of 23.37 to put himself into second place. Grant Foreman sitting in third with his 26.26.
Third heat of the underhand, Mark Boquin and Walt Page.
Going to be Walt Page on stand number 2, position 1, Mark Beauquin. Time to beat now is from the first heat, Dakota Robart, 21.04.
Well, Tommy, we broke up the odd couple, finally.
Yeah, finally. Yeah.
Walt Page separated from Matt Koger.
Not
Walt
having
Page
to cut against Matt. Yeah.
Walt Page in Heat 3 of Pool B.
Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Mark Beauquin has really been paying a lot of time and attention to his underhand chopping, partly because of his interest in the trophy event. This is one of the disciplines in that event. Walt Page with a little bit of a hang-up on the bottom of the front side of that log. Very wide open, draws a slab on the backside. Oh my gosh, one hit separates Page and Beauquin. A lot of attention over here. Some whispers between our referees about the performance of Mark Beauquin. I'm not They seem to be gesturing to see if he had his. There's flags flying everywhere. I'm worried that maybe Mark Beauquin didn't have his protective apparel on.
Oh. DQ, not proper leg protection.
Wow.
Clearly in the rule that it has to be fully up the leg.
I see his sock was exposed, but there was no leg protection. Are you now? Are your feet covered? Well, I know, yeah. So Mark's saying, hey, look, my feet were covered, but I noticed that they weren't coming up your shin. So that is the rule. What they're running is a chainmail sock. The chainmail sock covers the foot, and it continues up the shin. As he was getting ready, I looked down, and I could see his sock and his ankle exposed, and I thought, am I seeing things, or is Mark Beauquin not wearing his leg protection? And here goes Rich Hallett. Yep. We got security for Rich Hallett. Here we go again. Cassidy Shears over here. He's loving it. He loves it. So Mark's feet were protected. The shins were not. And there's a reason. The axe can bounce off the log. We've seen it before. Please shut up for a second. I'm trying to explain this. It can bounce off and hit the shin. This is your fault, Page. Well, we've had a bit of a rough go here in this heat. Mark Beauquin, immediately after the event was over, the judges kind of converged on Mark Beauquin and determined he did not have his proper safety apparel on during this event. I've got some mixed emotions on this one because it's the end of the event, the time that we ought to be pointing this out, that he didn't have his proper safety apparel on. But this is for the advisory team and the judges and all parties involved to figure it out. A very tough break for Mark Beauquin. He will be receiving a DQ. He was in our Borderland performers, and this will most assuredly put him out of the top 4 permanently for the rest of the day.
Yeah, he had achieved the 4th spot. Just this last, the previous discipline there had Mark Beauquin, and now with the DQ, he is back down on near the bottom there with 1 heat left to go. So I tell you what, that's a tough blow for Mark Beauquin. Not a popular decision with the crowd, I don't think. Walt Page's time, 19.75, though. That's official, and that's good enough for first place.
On the call. But here we go, our final heat of the underhand chop on the stage right now on position 1. Let's hear it for Trevor Beaudry. On position 2, Matthew Koger.
Final heat of the underhand, Trevor Beaudry and Matt Koger. Trevor having a good day. He's been in and out of that 4th spot there, and Mark Beauquin has left the door open for him to get back up into that 4th spot. A lot riding on this particular chop for Trevor Beaudry.
Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Matt Koger just put a clinic on in the standing block, the single block, so many disciplines today. Trevor Beaudry has been coming on strong in the underhand, but I don't know that he's got enough to take out. Oh, big hang up from Matt Koger. The devices are falling off the stage, just absolute chaos up there. A 15-second chop for Matt Koger.
Nice job, gentlemen. Both cuts are good.
You got Matt Koger, one of the best underhand choppers in the world. Matt, talk about that cut. You had a slight stick. What happened with that stick in the back of the log?
Yeah, just hooked the heel a little bit. There's a heel in the axe and reached down so far, and that's where it gets it deeper into the log, and then you try to pull it out, and it just kind of sticks there with the heel, and it's really all you can do is just kind of try to pull the axe out and get the hits back in. And I knew Trevor was a pretty good underhand cutter, so I just had to really push a little harder there.
Maybe you can help me out. Let's rewind a little bit what just happened with Mark Beauquin. We just talked to the North American Sports Director. It says the rule is it's foot and leg protection. He only had the foot. Do you mind showing us what the actual protection is? So you can see Matt Koger right here. That's the full-on chainmail. It goes over the foot and up the shin. It's legal. It's unfortunate for Mark Beauquin. We saw back in Little Rock, Arkansas, Mark Beauquin, he slabbed out the underhand. It cost him the final, but he may still be in the game with a hot saw coming up, buddy. How are you feeling about the hot saw? You're free to go. Technically, you should be in already.
Yeah, no, I just want to run the hot saw like I always do. Just get it running, get it started up, and just have 3 cuts on the deck.
Speaking of hot saws, they're going without you back there, Matt. Big round of applause, Matt Koger.
All right, here we go. We're taking a look at that ripper of an underhand cut from Matt Koger as he just wades deep into the front side of this log. Massive chips. But let's talk about the back side of the log as this hang up comes up. Pretty uncharacteristic. But when you drive the axe that deep in the log, there's bound to be trouble. If you ever look at one of these axes up close, they are hooked at the ends. There's a point at the top and the bottom. So if you're setting that axe deep in the bottom of the log and not bringing it back out of the wood and sort of drag the handle up towards you, you will hook the heel of that axe in the fibers. It is just like setting a fishing hook in a log at the bottom of the river. It is extremely tough to get out.
Blazing effort for Matt Koger, 7-time champion. 14.72 his official time in the underhand chop. Trevor Beaudry winds up in second place, strong, 18.30. Very timely for him. We'll talk about that in a moment here. Walt Page and Dakota Robarge round out our top 4. Now the real story is the overall points with 1 discipline remaining. There's Matt Koger, big lead right there, looks pretty much untouchable. Walt Page behind him, Dakota Robarge, good job all day today. Now Trevor Beaudry had fallen out of the top 4 previous to the underhand there, but Mark Beauquin's DQ, Trevor Beaudry with a good second place finish there, has now put him up in 4th and with a little bit of bumper as well, a little bit of margin.
Nevertheless,
so we are ready to move on. Our coverage, the final event of the day is coming up the hot saw.
All right, we've got the hot saw coming up next. I want to build the juice in this building for the hot saw. I've got some steel hats to give away. I passed out all those orange flags. Let's get them up in the air. The biggest waves of the flags can get some hats right now. Let's hear it. Let's go. Let's go. Oh yeah, there's some flags flying. Let's see those flags. Let's see those flags. You weren't here yet. You can get one of those. Absolutely. I see some big flags going over there. You ready? Keep them waving. Keep them waving. I'm running around here. Let's go. Let's go. There you go, buddy. There you go. Keep those flags waving. Oh yeah, we'll get one up here. That's a lone flag way in the back. That's training for the Olympics right there. Yeah, buddy. If you don't have a flag, you can wave a sign up in the air too. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. Feeling it. Getting ready for the hot saw. Have the sign up in the air, waving around. Beautiful. Oh, he's shaking it. Shake it for me, dude. Keep those flags going. Couple more hats. I love it. 2 flags up in the air. Absolutely. All right, who earns it more? Who needs it more? Who needs it more? Don't spill the beer. All right, one more. One more. The most electrifying event in all of Timber Sports Entertainment coming up next, the hot saw. Our athletes are going to have to make 3 cuts inside 6 inches of wood from a dead start. All right, buckle up.
Us may be different, but what we share is the pursuit. Whether taken on the job site or your own backyard, let the pursuit of the perfect cut begin. STIHL zero-turn mowers are here. Right now, get 0% financing plus up to a $1,500 instant rebate on select STIHL zero-turn mowers. Real STIHL.
Your local Ace is the largest national retailer of STIHL power tools. Gas or battery, you won't find this full lineup at a warehouse store. You can find it at Ace.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
Duluth Trading Company was born from generations who showed us that the only way to live life is to live it hands-on.
To do it the hard way. To take the trail untrodden. To take the damn thing apart, put it back together, and have the world be better for it.
We don't think that the go all in, dig deep, and get your hands dirty spirit exists in everybody.
We know it does. Duluth Trading. Take on life with your own 2 hands.
Let's roll. Let's go.
When we work in harmony, anything is possible.
Our live coverage continues from the BMO Pavilion here in Milwaukee at German Fest. This is semifinal action, U.S. Men's Championship STIHL Timbersports 2024. This is Pool B, and we started with 8. We still got 8 who are about to participate in our final discipline of the day, the hot saw. Of course, it's all about being in the top 4 at the end of the day. But only those 4 are going to pass on, going to graduate to the finals, to the championship day tomorrow. And there they are, Matt Coger, Walt Page, Dakota Robarge, and Trevor Beaudry, who has ascended back into the 4th place after Mark Boquin suffered a DQ in our last discipline. We get ready now, and let's go with the hot saw. Dave Jewett.
first heat of the hot saw, Dakota Robarch and Mark Boquin.
Well, a couple of our big players today. Dakota Robarch, Mark Boquin.
There's a lot on the line right now. Robarch is sitting in a great spot. He's third in points overall coming in. You know, for a rookie, that's pretty darn good.
Yeah,
I'd take that any day. Mark Boquin coming off a very tough DQ. He's got a lot to prove.
Yeah.
And you're going to see
warm up
everything
your saws.
that saw has to offer.
Thirty seconds. Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Boquin very fast to the log, very fast through the log. Trouble though! Trouble on both stands, to be fair. Boquin, I don't think he's done. The clock stopped, but this event is not over. Not going to happen for Mark Boquin. Nope. Valiant effort on stand number 2, trying to do everything he can to post a time.
Okay, DQ on this stand, incomplete disc. Your cut was good.
Only one more interview today, buddy, but we are going to be seeing you tomorrow. Talk about you. There's been a lot of chatter behind the scenes that you haven't heard that said Dakota Robarch, he needs to be in next year. Talk about the journey leading up to today.
Well, let's see. I've been doing shows every day, so that helps. And my wife let me spend a bunch of money on equipment, so that also helps. So new equipment's always nice in this sport. So tons.
Going into the hot saw, virtually you were in for tomorrow. You needed those 3 discs on the ground. Heartbeat a thumping, or were you a calm gentleman up there?
Well, I mean, I might not have been showing it, but I tried to stay calm. But yeah, I was pretty nervous there. But I knew that if I just made 3 nice, easy cuts, that I'd be making it on. So,
talk about the steps you go through really quick between the on-off switch or decompressions. What is your program after the warm-up?
Well, after the warm-up, I wrap my cord, set my throttle, and then I just kind of double check everything, triple check, and then just hand on the oiler, make sure the tether's on, and then as soon as they get set, I turn the oil on and then go. Yeah.
And you're going to the finals, buddy. We'll see you tomorrow. Dakota Robarch.
What an amazing day for this man. Dakota Robarge, second generation wood chopper. I know Dad Wally, Mom Andrea are home watching this performance today. What a great clean run in this hot saw. Just getting the job done. You can't have a better way for a rookie to enter this, and it just performs so well.
Yet another personal best for Dakota Robarge, a time of 7.95. He has gotten the job done. He is going to be around for the championship. Mark Boquin, boy, a tough ending to his day. Another DQ right there. Three more heats left to go.
All right, heat 2 of the hot saw. Let's bring them out. Grant Foreman and Trevor Beaudry.
Stand 1, Grant Foreman. Over there on stand 2, Trevor Beaudry.
All right, so these guys
gotten himself in and out of the 4th position several times today. He's in it now as we started the hot saw discipline here. If he can just put 3 complete discs together, post a time, a reasonable time, he's got a pretty good margin over the rest of his pursuers here, so it could mean a whole lot to have no drama in this last cut for Trevor Beaudry.
Warm up your saws. Thirty seconds. Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
A lot of the line for both of these athletes. Trevor Beaudry attacking. Oh, Grant Foreman has the double clutch. That second cut. It is going to be Beaudry over Foreman if both cuts are clean. I have a little bit of trepidation about stand number 1, though, and Grant Foreman. Judge wants to get in and have a good close look at that one. Oh, I was afraid of that. Trouble stand 1. A lot of time being spent looking at that line. Remember, you can shave the line. You can nick the line. Yeah, I don't know what else you can do, but you can't sever that line. There must be crayon present. Doesn't have to be all the crayon you started with, but you cannot sever that line.
Okay, good cut on this stand. DQ, cut the line.
But there it is, Trevor Beaudry. Trevor. Feeling it, my friend. Feeling it up on the stage. Talk to me about that cut. Running a 4 saw, it's got to be tough on a stage like this.
So yeah, it is a borrowed saw, but I've had some time to put some runs in it, get it dialed in. It's running really good. I knew I was 6 points up on 5th place. So it was all about putting 3 on the deck nice and clean. So not take chances, run the saw nice and clean, 3 perfect discs. And I believe that should put me through. So, first time in the finals potentially, as long as nothing wonky happens.
Well, officially 7.15 seconds. Your new leader in the hot saw. Give it up for Trevor Beaudry.
Let's have a look at the run here from Grant Foreman. He was on stand number 1, up and into the wood. First cut, not too shabby. It's pretty clean, pretty straight. But second cut, the upcut, just fanned the end of that log. That chewed up about a ½ inch of usable wood. Then he comes over and gets a little bit heavy on that second cut after eroding or shaving away a ½ inch of wood and turning it into chips. Now you can tell he is just running right down that line, and it was the bottom near side of that log that he severed the line, cut over the line, I should say. That was a disqualification. Trevor Beaudry doing what Trevor Beaudry, though, needed to do. Thin cut, nice solid run, and puts up some valuable overall points.
Trevor Beaudry filling the bill with 3 clean cuts, posts a time and a good one, 2:07.15. He is looking like great shape to make it into his very first finals U.S. Men's Championship STIHL Timbersports. So Trevor Beaudry on top for now. 2 more heats left to go in the hot saw. Of course, 2 heats left to go, but that's the way the overall points are shaping up right now. Matt Koger's got this thing put away. Dakota Robarge, ditto. We're going to the finals. Trevor Beaudry looking good, as Trevor himself said. Something pretty amazing is going to happen to unseat him from that 4th spot. Walt Page, he hasn't cut yet. He's standing in 4th right there, so he's looking great to make it to the final as well.
All right, Tommy, turning our attention down to the bottom of the list, though. We got to remember our last place finisher, our 8th place finisher in every pool will not be invited back next year. They've got to sit one out, if you will, and give somebody else an opportunity to come in. So Whalen and Browse are coming up in this next heat. There's a 4-point gap between them. This could get a little spicy.
Yeah, Ben Whalen's got to do something pretty amazing here.
Milwaukee out here. I walked on the ground a little bit last night. Another 20 feet. There's another beer booth. I'm telling you, this place now has a place in my heart. I'm a huge fan. All right, there's the points right now. Matt Koger is still sitting comfortably at 37. Robarge at 35. Beaudry 32. Walt Page at 30. So right now, and I'm not doing this with any other math that I was given off to the side, those top 4 are safe.
Yeah, they're safe, Dave, exactly. They know it. They've got the points out back. Here we go for heat number 3, Zach Browse and Ben Whalen.
Zach Browse on the left there. Zach Browse just above Ben Whalen, actually 14 points ahead of Ben Whalen coming into this in overall points. So Ben Whalen has got to beat Zach, number 1. He's got to beat him by 4, actually 5, in order to get himself out of the relegation category.
Warm up your saws. Seconds.
A very consequential heat.
Yeah.
Not for advancement to the finals, but to see who may be relegated, who's not going to be joining us next year, needs to sit one out. Four points separating these two athletes.
Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go.
Not enough for Whalen to beat Browse. He's got to destroy Browse. Browse is going to take the heat, though. Oh, and an incomplete disc. That wheel don't roll from stand number 2. He's going to go back. This is the mistake I feel like he made. Oh, yeah, it's just a heartbreak. Appreciate the effort from Ben Whalen. It's not going to get it done. You can see that disc roll across the stage like a flat tire.
5-7 unofficially for Browse. And unfortunate for Ben Whalen.
Ben Whalen has cut in the low 6s before. He was going to give it his all this time. It just did not work out. And that's going to be a huge disappointment.
It looks like Browse is all right. He'll get some points out of it. It won't be enough to get him up into the top 4, but he can survive to fight another year.
Yep.
DQ on this stand, incomplete disc, good cut.
We got Zach Rouse right here. Zach, one of the fastest hot sawyers in the world. We talk about the hot saw, we talk about the fuel. Let's talk about chains. Good buddy of ours, Mike Sullivan, one of the best hot sawyers in the world. He hand files chains. The chains can be ground on a machine. They can be hand filed right down to just the human being. Talk about the chain you just used, please.
Yeah, that's a Mike Sullivan chain. Big shout out to Mike. He's the best chain filer in the world, hands down. I have a lot of chains from him. And in the last 2 years, he's really taught me a lot about hot sawing, how to get better at it. So big thanks to Mike. I know that chain there, he did up last year for me. He hand filed it. I think he said he had 24 hours of time hand filing that saw specifically for this white pine.
And work today, beautiful birthday boy right here. Great job, Zach Browse.
Well, here's a look at stand number 2 in the hot saw. That is Ben Whalen up and into the wood, solid, but gets on an angle. It's thin at the top, it's wide at the bottom. That does not leave him a lot of timber to cut. Goes very thick on that second cut, that upcut. You can see, though, that it is also tipped at an angle. By the time he gets to the third cut, there is not a lot of timber at the bottom of that log. His third cut was his straightest cut, but at that point, he has undermined the log, and there's nothing but air to cut through at the bottom. Does go back, tries to pick up an additional cut, but just can't get the saw steered and make that cut. Remember, every time these saws go through the wood, they erase about a half an inch of timber. Very thin cut. I didn't realize how thin that was for Zach Browse on that second run. It was a complete disc. He had a little bit of wood left over, but very thin cut for Zach Browse on stand number 1.
Good time nonetheless. A 5.51 for Zach Browse puts him in the top spot in the hot saw. As you say, Kevin, probably not going to be enough to, well, it won't be enough to get him into the top 4, but he will certainly avoid relegation and be qualified to come back next year.
Well, Tommy, it's been a tough day for hot saw here in Milwaukee. It doesn't seem to matter what pool you're in, doesn't seem to matter the time of day. Just a lot of DQs, and all I can attribute that to is just flat out sending it. Full go for it mode.
Yeah.
And these guys are doing that, and it's a hero or zero kind of moment.
Exactly.
You're gonna cut in the 5s, 6s, or 7s, or you're gonna have a DQ next to your name.
Very, very risky. A very ragged edge to live out on there with the hot saw, and when you're trying to make up points, come from behind, and get something done.
Heat of the hot saw coming to the stage now, Walt Page and Matthew Koger.
Final heat, our 2 top points getters going at it here. Walt Page, Matt Koger, 7-time U.S. champion. You guys are kind of getting the feel of things. You're kind of doing a rehearsal for the big show tomorrow.
Yeah, you're 1,000% right on that, Tommy. And it isn't going to be a rehearsal like dip your toe in the water and see what it feels like. It's going to be a full send rehearsal, because now is the time. Now is the time to see how your saw is doing, how it's like in this timber, how it's like in the weather conditions.
Warm up your
It is going to be a full send dress rehearsal.
30
Koger's
seconds.
won the stock saw, standing block, and the underhand, trying to make it 4 wins out of 6 disciplines today.
Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Matt Koger very quick on the go. Walt Page very quick through the wood. Look at the race between these two athletes. They are both going to end up in that 5.5 second range, barring any DQs, because that's just been the way it's been.
Yeah.
The most skillful move I've seen is Matt Koger making that third cut. He had hardly anyone. He held the throttle wide open, threw it in. I don't see any yellow flag. I can't wait to see the replay. That's the third disc right there. You can see propped up, super thin. That was very thin on the first cut. That is absolute pure experience. That's not for you.
Well, Tommy, like we said, two guys that got nothing to lose. You might as well just set the cruise control and walk off the stage, or
Nice job, gentlemen.
Yeah.
Both cuts are good.
Here goes Matt, you always like to make it interesting, buddy. It's as if you took a thick disc on the first and the second cut just to prove to yourself, no matter how thin it is, you can still prove you're a champion and get that thin disc off. That was going into the third cut.
Yeah, no, it was getting really close to that line. Sometimes you gotta just try to test yourself a little bit. I wasn't really intending to take that thick disc on the first cut, but whenever that happens, you got to go with it.
Mid 5 seconds. Only a few athletes in the country have cut in the 4s. You're one of them. You did it on this stage last year. What happens? What adrenaline rush is it knowing I am in that elite group in the 4s? And can you do it again in the final?
Well, anytime you're dealing with a 60 horsepower motor and you're in between your hands, just full rip it and grip it, the adrenaline's always rushing. But no, just to kind of say, yeah, I've done that. Now it's like, okay, let's build the consistency up to do that, and it's feeling good. And hey, just on the day, who knows what happens.
You have you're retrofitted with carbon fiber on that saw. What's the full price tag?
Probably in upwards about $12,000.
Good job, buddy. You just won this heat. We're going to see you in the finals. Matt Koger, Grafton, West Virginia. Big round of applause.
Well, here's a look at that exceptional run from Matt Koger. Exceptional that he managed to pull out 3 discs, because the first 2 come off very thick, especially that second one. Doesn't leave him a whole lot of real estate for that third disc. But what a time to prepare and set yourself up for greatness in the finals, Tommy.
Absolutely. What a terrific time. 5.65 official time for Matt Koger. Walt Page, excellent as well. 5.85. They finished 2 and 3 in the hot saw to put the finishing touches on a terrific day of qualifying. Now let's look at the full final results. These are the points totals for the day. Matt Koger, he's going. Walt Page, he's in there too with 36 points. Dakota Robards with 32, and Trevor Beaudry, our 4th man in. Those 4 will pass on to the finals. We are going to take a break, and we'll be back at 7:30 Central Time for Pool C action. Join us then here in Milwaukee.